all for 1 shilling and 6pence. Wearing a black dress and an immaculately starched and pressed white apron and cap, Gladys glided through the noisy dining room packed with tables, all draped with snowy white cloths and laid with gleaming cutlery. Skillfully balancing a heavy tray loaded with fish cakes, vegetable hot pot, baked currant pudding, and apple turnovers, plus a pot of tea, Gladys gracefully circumnavigated boisterous children, impatient old ladies, and flustered nippies to bring food to her expectant customers. Happy as she was at Lyons, nothing equaled the thrill of her evening job when she played the alto saxophone in Jimmy Angelo's swing band. Gladys had always loved music. From the time they were just tots, she and Les had joined their dad, who played the booming drum for the Salvation Army, in marching through the streets of Leeds, singing hymns and collecting money for the homeless. When his children were still small, Mr. Johnson had bought each of them a tiny trumpet, which they proudly tooted as they strode along beside him through the streets of Leeds city centre. In their teens, much influenced by the American swing bands which they both adored, Gladys had moved from the trumpet to the alto sax, whilst Les stuck with his beloved trumpet. Brother and sister loved to play duets. Up in their bedrooms, they'd take it in turns to pick a dance number and experiment with harmonies, until their mother banged on the ceiling with a brush. "Will you stop that din up there? The neighbours'll have us thrown out," she bellowed. The Andrews sisters were their all-time favourites, especially Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B, which they played with wild abandon whenever they could get away with it. Les loved his music and was good at it, but his talented sister had bigger ideas. Gladys wanted to take her musical skills to a professional level. "Perform in public? You must be joking," Les had laughed when she confessed her burning ambition. "Our dad'll go crackers." "Nothing ventured, nothing gained," she'd said, with a shrug of her pretty shoulders. When she'd seen an advert in the General Post Office for a dance band saxophonist, Gladys had immediately applied. The dance band leader, Jimmy Angelo, though born and bred in Leeds, had a Sicilian father and spoke in a thick northern dialect interspersed with snips of Italian. Non credo che sia un ragazza," he laughed when Gladys turned up to audition. Not having a clue what he was talking about, Gladys, in a tight-fitting black crepe dress with her long dark hair swinging around her shoulders, took her saxophone out of its leather case and played a powerful rendition of "You Are My Sunshine" that took the indulgent smile off Angelo's cocky face. Dropping the Italian, he blurted out, "Bloody hell, kid. Who taught you how to play on sax?" "My dad," she replied proudly. "There's more," she added, as she launched into "Oh Lady Be Good" without any sign of sheet music. At the end of her performance, Angelo applauded loudly, then blew kisses in the air. "Favoloso! Eccellente! When can you start?" She was required to play each evening from Friday to Sunday at the Mecca Locarno in the County Arcade in Leeds. Les had been right when he'd warned Gladys about the family's reaction to her playing in public. Her mother, a born worrier, was appalled by the thought of her 20-year-old daughter having 2 jobs. "You'll kill yourself," she exclaimed. But it was her father who was the biggest obstacle. He adored his little girl and wasn't happy about her performing with an all-male band. "That's not a job for lasses," he announced as he lit up his pipe and buried his head in the Yorkshire Evening Post. "Not the lasses playing the Sally Army band," Les said, in his sister's defence. Gladys shot him a loving smile. "Thanks," she mouthed. "That's different," Mr. Johnson retorted. "That's for the Lord." Gladys cuddled up to her dad. "Come on," she coaxed. "It's you that taught me music. It's not my fault if I'm good at it. It's a gift from God." Mr. Johnson finally relented, on condition that he accompanied Gladys to the Locarno and stayed throughout the night to keep an eye on her. He became a regular feature in the ballroom, sitting in a corner drinking warm lemonade and puffing on his pipe. If the truth were known.